Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to our Thursday morning creative care session. I'm Kathy. I'm from Time Slips Creative Storytelling, and this is week number 7 already. While you're joining us, let us know where you're from. And if you are calling in on your phone, welcome. It's nice to have you here. And if you also are coming into us through your computer screen, we'd love to see your smiling faces. So if you want to be on video, you can click on the bottom left of your screen where it says start video, and we'd love to see you. But again, welcome. In any case, it's just nice to have you here. This is our Thursday morning dementia creative care sessions. And this is just where we get a chance to spend some time together as friends, exploring what a beautiful question is. So if you have a pen and paper handy, go ahead and get that. Set it to your side. And again, this is just going to be a really wonderful, enriching morning. So I'm going to go ahead and turn this over to Sarah, who is our facilitator this morning. And again, you're among friends. Thanks so much for being here.
Good morning, everyone. I am Sarah, and I am equally excited to see faces and to be in this Zoom world and this phone world with you this morning. One other thing we love here is hearing from those of you on Zoom in the chat box, letting us know where you're calling in from. We've had folks from all over Eastern Kentucky. I'm in downtown Durham. And it's kind of a special feature of this new way of communicating that we can check in with each other. So feel free, if you're with us on Zoom, to give us a shout out. Katie's from Chapel Hill, Diana's coming in from Durham. We love to know all of that great stuff. So I also want to welcome you all, and I see people are still joining. So this is by way of introduction, another creative care session brought to you today by Time Slips and the Dementia Inclusive Durham Initiative. And together we have joined forces to enhance the well-being of people living with dementia and adults who are living with intellectual and or developmental disabilities. And these creative care sessions are ideal for caregivers and their care partners together and can be enjoyed at home or in care settings. They're designed to be accessible to people with a range of cognitive and physical challenges. But we want you to adjust as you need to. And if you're just checking in here on Zoom, Jim's with us again. Hi, Jim from Durham. Go ahead and give us a hello in the chat. We love that so much. So I'm back. I'm Sarah Wilbur, and I'm a facilitator for Time Slips. I'm broadcasting today from my living room in downtown Durham. And I'm also a dancer and a choreographer. And I've been telling stories and building dances and making movement worlds with people from all kinds of backgrounds for a really long time. And it's just wonderful to see people. Bob and Jean are here from Durham. And Celeste is here from Charlotte. Skylar's here. We're excited to have you here to log in and join in all these engagement activities. So welcome. Each week we've been recording these sessions and we're making them available to you on the Time Slips website, which is timeslips.org. And you can go to that website and go under the resource tab at any time and you can see some of the other sessions that we've offered. These recordings are for you, so we hope you'll join us each week and feel free to return to these sessions however you like. So our goal today is to let our creativity help us relax and enjoy this moment together, and to feel connected to community as best we can by sharing our experiences and sharing our creativity with each other, whether you're calling from Durham or Charlotte or Eastern Kentucky. We're here to imagine together, and we love that. All right, so here's what we're going to do today. First, I'm going to introduce the framework for today's session. Next, I'm going to ask a beautiful question. Then I'm going to guide you through a series of ways to explore that question using your imagination. Throughout this time, we will invite you to continue to share your responses as you're doing right now in the chat, or give you a few other ways to share. There might even be a moment where we turn on our microphones for those who are comfortable sharing. And we love seeing so many faces in the video. So keeping your video chat open, you can always share any dance moves that come as we go. At the end, I'm going to say thank you, and we'll say goodbye for now and see you next week. All right, so first, our framework here. This is how we roll at Time Slips. Kathy has asked that you look around you, maybe grab a pen and a piece of paper, because you might want to make some notes during our session. Go ahead and grab those if you haven't done that already. If you can't find a pen or a piece of paper, you will be fine without. Just a suggestion. And as we continue today, we encourage everyone to shift away from the pressure and expectation of memory and to move instead toward imagination. Our sessions build on the strengths of expression that we each have in our very own imagination. This really means that there are no wrong answers to the beautiful question. We are inviting each other into making meaning right here and now. Everyone is creative. At least that's what we think. We truly believe that creativity is an innate human trait. If you can breathe, you can create. And for me, if you can move, you can dance. Now, some people think they're not dancers, but you just don't let them tell you that, because these whole sessions are about our shared imagination, and you've got that. So this session today is part of a larger project that we're doing in Durham. And as I've said before, we're interested in your responses. Eventually, we're hoping to shape responses that people share into a communal art project in about a year from now. So as you share your responses, go ahead in the chat, or for those of you not on Zoom today, we want to give you some other ways to share stories or ideas that came up for you. So if you want to use the chat feature here on Zoom, go ahead and share that way. If you are interested in emailing us, you can also email any stories at the following address. It's info@timeslips.org. Send us an email. Or for those people who prefer the phone, you can also call us and leave a voicemail. Here's the number that you can call. It's 1-800-220-1822, extension 1. And for anyone who shares, we love to know where you live. We love to keep this global network together. And if you leave your name, we promise we'll only use your first name if we decide to share anything publicly. And that's the basic framework. All right, so housekeeping aside, now we are ready for our moment of creative care. Let's just start simply, everyone. We're gonna take a breath together. So plant your feet on the floor, feel supported in your chair, maybe do a good morning wiggle, whatever feels good, and notice your own breathing. The rhythm of the breath you've chosen right now is a perfect rhythm. We're just gonna take a nice deep inhale and exhale. Ready? Deep breath in, and let it out, exhale. Let's do that one more time. Deep breath in, and empty it out. Now, of course, you should continue breathing at your own pace. And as you breathe, I'm going to ask you to take your hands, one hand or two hands, and just rest them both on the top of your chest and feel the movement of your breath. So deep breath in on your own time. And as you breathe, inhale, you might notice your hands rising and falling as you let air in and out. You feel your rib cage open and close as you breathe. Maybe you feel the warmth or the coolness of your own hands resting on your chest. Just feeling our movement, feeling our breath. This is a pretty important kind of movement. I call breathing the dance of life. It's pretty much the most important dance we have. Let's take one more deep breath together. Inhale and exhale. Kathy, I wonder if you could just quickly unmute our microphones, and if you could inch a little bit closer to your microphones. People have really enjoyed. As we inhale, if we can listen to each other's exhale, take a nice deep breath in one more time. Inhale up. And let's hear all the wind. Exhale out. Great. Now, before you rest your hands down at your sides, if you're on video, go ahead and give us a morning wave. A little hello to everyone. I love this dance. It's my favorite dance. And you can rest your hands down at your sides. Kathy, you can go ahead and turn the microphones down so we can continue. It is time for our beautiful question of the day. Sorry, I lost my mute there. It is time for today's beautiful question. What stories do your hands tell? What stories do your hands tell? Today, we're inviting you to imagine all kinds of activities, gestures, and journeys that we can possibly take with our very own hands. For those of you who are with us today by phone, I want to actually describe a photo that I'm sharing for everyone right now. It's a picture of two people. The image is zoomed in just on their hands, and the person on the left is using both of her hands to clutch and hold the hand of the person on the right. This gesture, for me, is a show of comfort. What is it for you? What stories do your hands tell? Now, there are no wrong answers to this question. Robert is saying affection. Jim is saying my hands tell my age. Celeste is saying a life journey informed by diversity. These are all right answers. There are so many different kinds of handiwork out there. We're asking today what kinds of meanings we hold in our very own hands. Maybe your hands just spent time communicating, waving to someone. Maybe you use your hands to cook meals or bake something or prepare something delicious. I like pretending that my hands can do things that they can't do, like knitting, for example. It's something that a lot of people do. I don't know how to do it. I'm imagining in my fantasy that I'm really good at knitting. People are sharing compassion in the hands. Jean is giving a hello with her hands. Carm is tending with her hands with love. What kinds of stories do your hands tell? These are beautiful. Diana's hands comfort and create. I'm gonna share another photo here. I'm having a little stall on my own technology, but I think I'm back. Great. For those of you on the phone, I'm showing a picture now that's a black and white photo. It's an older photo. And in it is a close-up of a man whose hands are covered with a light amount of dust. His hands are holding the handle of a dusty shovel. His coveralls are also dusty, which tells me that he was once working very hard with that shovel. But in his hands and in his stance, his body is calm. His hands were once working, but now they are at rest. What stories do your hands tell? Diana says, holding the hands of my children. It's time now to write it down. So you spent some time here imagining. I'd like you to go ahead and gather your pen and paper. If you have something nearby, take a moment now. Write down whatever came to your mind. Let's just take some time here. Make a list, an inventory of all of the adventures that you can possibly hold in your own hands. Skylar says, needing different parts of my life. What kinds of comfort have you given someone or received from someone through your hands? What kinds of foods might you prepare? How are your hands creative? Do they write? Do they knit? What do they generate? Go ahead and write it down. What kinds of precious things can you hold in your hands? Maybe you write down the kinds of work your hands have done. Robert is saying gardening. Kathy's hands bake cookies. They garden and they type. Any kind of work, and I'm talking the best kind of work, people. That's kind of hard work that really pays off with your hands. Anything, nothing is too small to notice. Maybe you think of something you gather with your hands or you scoop up in your garden. If you could hold something in your hands right now, what would it be? Katie does energy work. Jim says they might communicate through signing. That's right. Now, as you're finishing writing, I'm showing one other photo here. For those who can't see, this next slide is showing a single person's hands. Again, it's a zoomed in picture, and the palms are together and open to the camera. This pair of hands is holding a small bunch of soft, bright green pine needles. I chose this image because when I see it, I can almost smell the smell of fresh pine. Carm says, a blossom unfurling. Yes. What stories do your hands tell? In our next step, we're going to share our ideas outward. Some of you are doing a beautiful job of already sharing in the chat. We're going to string our ideas together into a great big poem. And today's poem is very simple. It's built from a single refrain. Each line of our poem begins with the same 5 words. These are the hands that, and I want you to be invited now to use your ideas to complete that line. Write down your poem using any of the responses from your list. And if you'd like, you share your lines of poetry in the chat. These are the hands that hold pine needles. These are the hands that have worked hard in the garden. Celeste says, these are the hands that shepherd my mother through old age. Beautiful. Cape has said, these are the hands that reach out with love. Yes. Katie's hands, these are the hands that show my dog love. You better believe it. Dogs need our hands. They remind us. What stories do your hands tell? Kathy, I'm wondering too, in addition to the chat, if we could unmute the microphones here. And if anyone wants to read one of the lines, these are the hands that, out loud, I think that would also be really beautiful.
Everyone is unmuted.
Thank you. Diana says, these are the hands that wipe away tears. It's beautiful. Anyone want to offer a line of poetry?
These are the hands that hold you close.
Beautiful. Skylar says, these are the hands that communicate in different ways. Robert's hands, these are the hands that hold a good book. This is great. I'm showing another photo now, so let's go ahead and unmute, but keep sharing in the chat. Some of you have microphones and some of you don't, so I've realized that might be a lofty request, but these are absolutely beautiful. I actually feel like this poem could go on for a really long time, but we're gonna keep moving through imagining and just remembering that our hands hold all of these wonderful adventures, right? And that actually for me as a dance person, your poems remind me that our bodies hold all of this deep meaning and possibility, which I love. Okay, so I'm showing, let's go ahead, Kathy, and mute the microphones once more. I'm gonna take a step to on my gallery view. I hope you're all in gallery view seeing all these great faces, but it's a lot of choreography here for me. Great, I am showing, this is my favorite picture. So for those who can't see, this last image that I'm showing now on this slide features a young woman in a brown skirt and a white t-shirt with yellow stripes. She is caught in the rain. Now, this is not, for those of you in North Carolina, this is not one of those huge Carolina thunderstorms or anything. This is just one of those afternoon showers that kind of wakes up the world, right? And rather than run from the rain, run for shelter, she is standing right in the middle of the street. And her arms are outstretched wide, and her face is tilted toward the sky. Her eyes are closed, her hands are open, and she is smiling as she feels the raindrops pulsing in the palms of her hands. I chose this picture because to me, it tells a story of a woman whose hands are listening to the rain. How do your hands listen? As we draw today's session to a close, I'm going to ask us to sort of start where we left off with our own hands. And we're going to take a nice deep breath. I want you to go ahead and return your hands to a resting position on your chest. And we'll take a few group breaths of gratitude. If you're comfortable, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale out. And one more time, deep breath in. And exhale out. And maybe for those on the video share, we could open our hands in a gesture of gratitude. I have to raise mine up a little bit. Just like the woman in the rain, that we're sitting here today on Zoom, holding these ideas together is special. That we're holding each other's experiences means something. I so appreciate your brave sharing of all of your creativity, of all of your gestures of generosity. All of your movements and all of your words inspire me a great deal. So I just want to say thank you. You can go ahead and rest your hands down at your sides. They tell a lot of stories. So we do want to thank you all for joining us today. As always, we're so inspired that you keep showing up, offering your ideas and sharing them with us. And I truly hope that you enjoyed yourself, that you relaxed a little, and you can keep sharing any response you like with us in the chat. Kathy likes to keep that open as we conclude. So something might occur to you later on, and we want you to share your responses whenever you feel moved to. You can email us, as I said, any of your lines of poem. These are the hands that poetry at this address, info@timeslips.org. You can also give us a call and share your poem, share a story. That phone number where you can leave us a voicemail is 1-800-220-1822, extension 1. And I've personally enjoyed holding this time with you all, and just your generous affirmation, your willingness to say yes to this every week. And we really hope to see you again here next week as we continue to share creativity. So I'm going to kick it back to Kathy and say goodbye for now. Thanks, everyone.
Sarah, thank you so much for this. And thank you all for being a part of this. Jim wanted to note that he looks forward, Sarah, to just having your dance. It would be wonderful to see you in the dance. Again, friends, we spend these times together on Thursday mornings to come together creatively, and we are just so, so grateful for all of you. We're trying new things each week, and we appreciate your willingness to be open to those and for sharing a little bit of who you are in these beautiful questions. So again, if you have other things that you would love to share, we would love to hear them, either through email, info@timeslips.org, or you can call us at 1-800-220-1822, extension 1, and let us know an answer to a beautiful question, or you can ask a beautiful question yourself. So from all of us here at Dementia Inclusive Durham and Timeslips Creative Storytelling, thank you for the gift of what you have brought in your hands this morning. And we look forward to seeing you again next week, 10:30 a.m., Thursday morning, right here on this channel. Have a great week, everybody. Thank you so much.